So the other model that I like to use when looking at things, and it's quite an interesting one, especially in the context of people who are uh, experienced generational or intergenerational trauma. So looking at the prevalence of post-traumatic stress disorder type behaviours is there, but there's an inherent challenge in all of this, I think, and all of us have a defining choice to make as adults, and that defining choice is one that says we have to accept our own dysfunction, but we have a responsibility not to pass that on to the next generation. So the model that I use in that case, and I use it to help me as well, is Cartman's drama triangle, and in that, essentially, it's a triangle, and at each point of the triangle, you've got a victim, a rescuer, and a persecutor. Probably the most challenging example I can use is when a man, it's usually a man, will say about his partner, "She made me hit her." You go, what? She made me hit her. It's not my fault that I hit her. It wasn't domestic violence. She made me hit her. And so that person talks to you, and you're there, and you're like, I'm meant to identify that she's the persecutor, you're the victim, and you want me to side with you and rescue you from the brutal reality that you bashed your partner, and that she didn't make you hit her, but you chose to hit her because you couldn't deal with it in any other way. And I think that people all have the opportunity to use the past, their own past, as the convenient excuse for their current bad behaviour. And again, when we're working with people, we need to show people that as ugly as we currently are, we can improve ourselves tomorrow. And it starts the day that you take responsibility for your own actions. So you put all of that together, put it in a box. Here's the thing, right? So then you go, all right, what does that all mean? And if you're working in a community, so you work in a community, and in that community, what is it? The stats are that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men have been sexually abused or sexually assaulted before they turn 18. You've got people that have experienced racism and poverty and disadvantage. They've experienced rejection and quite often there's a disconnect between effort and outcome. So, except on the sporting field, you get on the sporting field, you play rugby, and if you train hard, and you generally you succeed. Netball is the same, but in other parts of life, quite often that connection isn't there. So no matter how hard you try, you still fail, or you still don't get the job, or someone whiter, brighter, richer gets the job. So within that, we will have a workforce that will broadly reflect that same pattern, that same makeup. And part of our job is to accept that we have to heal ourselves, and that and we have to make sure that our job is not substituting for our need for affirmation. So I am not, I don't know how many times you hear the story, I've been through it, so I'll be able to help people. And I go, well, that would only be true if the person that you are helping was you. Yeah. Because they have their own life experiences and their own sets of resources and their own relationships, and so you can't impose your pathway to wellness on somebody else. You actually are disadvantaging them by doing that. So, and I'm not saying that people who have lived experiences aren't valuable, but they need to understand that is an experience, and in a life of infinite experiences, forcing people to follow one path is a bit egocentric and selfish. So we have to look at ourselves, and we have to say, what are the tools we have? What are the values that we espouse? What are our behaviours that will enable this other person to lead a meaningful life? And the work that I do, whether it's in organisations or with clients, ultimately it sort of gets down to really a small number of things. I want everyone to feel engaged. I don't want them to feel isolated. So if you feel that, in times of trouble I've got someone I can turn to. I want people to feel optimistic that if I have a go at something, that I've got a fair chance at bloody succeeding, and I want people to feel a sense of like that they are capable of doing something practical that will result in that success. So if I want to achieve something, and I do X, Y, and Z, and I ask for help over here because that person can help me, then I'm likely to achieve the outcome that I set out to do. And if all of that is combined with a willingness to be vulnerable, then probably we will achieve something meaningful. And when I say a willingness to be vulnerable, is a willingness to ask for help, and accept that help when it comes. I think that's all I've got to say.